The inspector's interpretation regarding the grounding electrode conductor placement is correct, based on the National Electrical Code, specifically Section 250.52 AON. This section addresses the requirements for grounding metal water piping systems. NEC 250.52 AON mandates that if a building or structure has a metal water piping system, that system must be effectively grounded by connecting it to the grounding electrode system as specified in 250.52 AON or 250.52 ATWR. Furthermore, NEC 250.52 ANA provides a specific requirement regarding the location of the grounding connection. It states that the grounding connection must be made within 5 feet of the point where the water pipe enters the building. This means that the grounding electrode conductor, often abbreviated as GEC, must be connected to the metal water piping system inside the building and within that 5-foot distance from where the pipe comes into the building. Running the GEC to a valve pit that is located outside the building simply does not satisfy this requirement. The purpose of this requirement is to ensure that a low resistance electrical path exists between the metal water piping system and the grounding electrode system. This low resistance path is vital for protecting people from potential electrical shock hazards. These hazards could arise if a fault develops within the electrical system, causing current to flow through the metal water piping. If the piping is not properly grounded within that specified distance, the resistance to ground could be high enough to create a dangerous voltage potential on the pipes. This could then lead to electric shock if someone comes into contact with the energized pipe. The code mandates this close proximity grounding for safety reasons. Grounding the metal water pipe helps to ensure that the electrical potential of the piping system is kept close to 0 volts relative to the earth. This minimizes the risk of dangerous voltage differences that could cause electric shock. It is important to understand the difference between a grounding electrode and a grounding electrode conductor. The grounding electrode is the actual object that makes contact with the earth, such as a ground rod, a metal water pipe, or a concrete encased electrode, which is often referred to as a UFA ground. The grounding electrode conductor, on the other hand, is the conductor used to connect the equipment grounding system, the grounded conductor, or both, to the grounding electrode. In this case, the metal water pipe itself can serve as a grounding electrode, but the grounding electrode conductor must still be connected to it within the specified 5-foot distance from the point of entry into the building. The code also allows for the metal water pipe to be supplemented by an additional electrode, such as a ground rod or ground ring. In such cases, the connection to the metal water pipe must still be made within 5 feet of its entry point. Now, let's consider a scenario where an electrical fault occurs within the building. Suppose a live wire comes into contact with the metal water pipe. Without proper grounding, the pipe could become energized, posing a shock hazard. However, if the pipe is grounded within 5 feet of its entry point, the fault current will have a low resistance path to flow back to the source. This high current flow will cause the circuit breaker or fuse protecting the circuit to trip, quickly de-energizing the circuit and preventing a sustained shock hazard. In addition to the safety benefits, proper grounding of the metal water pipe also helps to reduce electrical noise and interference. This can be particularly important for sensitive electronic equipment that may be connected to the building's electrical system. By providing a low impedance path to ground, the grounding system can help to filter out unwanted electrical noise, improving the performance and reliability of the equipment. When installing a grounding electrode conductor to a metal water pipe, it is important to use appropriate materials and methods. The grounding electrode conductor must be sized according to the requirements of NEC Table 250.66, based on the size of the service entrance conductors. The conductor should be made of copper or other corrosion-resistant material and must be securely connected to the metal water pipe using a suitable fitting. The fittings should be listed for grounding purposes and should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. It is also important to ensure that the metal water pipe is electrically continuous throughout its length. This means that all joints and connections in the pipe must be made in a way that provides a good electrical connection. If there are any insulating couplings or fittings in the pipe, they must be bypassed with a bonding jumper to maintain electrical continuity. The bonding jumper must be sized according to NEC Table 250.102 current and must be securely connected to the metal water pipe on both sides of the insulating fitting. In some cases, the metal water pipe may be used as part of the building's lightning protection system. If this is the case, the grounding electrode conductor must be sized and installed in accordance with the requirements of NEC Article 250.60. The lightning protection system must also be installed by a qualified lightning protection contractor. It's also important to note that the 5-foot rule applies specifically to the connection of the grounding electrode conductor to the metal water pipe. It does not apply to the location of other grounding electrodes, such as ground rods or concrete encased electrodes. These other electrodes can be located anywhere on the premises as long as they are properly connected to the grounding electrode system. In addition to the requirements of the NEC, there may be local codes or regulations that apply to the grounding of metal water pipes. It is important to check with the local electrical inspector to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements. The electrical inspector has the final say on whether an installation is compliant with the code, so it is always best to consult with them if there are any questions or concerns. The NEC is not intended to be a design manual, but rather a set of minimum safety standards. It is the responsibility of the designer or installer to ensure that the electrical system is properly designed and installed to meet the specific needs of the application. In some cases, it may be necessary to go above and beyond the minimum requirements of the NEC to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. For example, in areas with high levels of ground current, it may be necessary to install additional grounding electrodes to reduce the risk of electrical shock. The NEC also includes requirements for the grounding of other metal piping systems such as gas piping and heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, or HVAC ductwork. These requirements are similar to those for metal water pipes, but there may be some differences depending on the specific application. It is important to consult the NEC for the specific requirements for each type of piping system. The grounding of metal piping systems is an important part of ensuring electrical safety in buildings. By following the requirements of the NEC and other applicable codes and regulations, it is possible to minimize the risk of electrical shock and other hazards. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector if there are any questions or concerns about the grounding of metal piping systems. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous, and it is always best to leave it to the professionals. It is important to emphasize that the information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Electrical codes and regulations can be complex and may vary depending on the location. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements. In summary, NEC Section 250.52 is very clear about the requirement to connect the grounding electrode conductor to the metal water piping system within 5 feet of where the pipe enters the building. The purpose of this requirement is to ensure a low resistance path for fault current, protecting people from electrical shock hazards. Ignoring this requirement is a code violation and could have serious safety consequences. Always consult with a qualified professional for any electrical work to ensure safety and compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. In addition, consider the specific materials used for the water pipe itself. While metal water pipes are typically copper or galvanized steel, it's important to verify the type of metal and its conductivity. Different metals have different conductivity levels, which can impact the effectiveness of the grounding system. Copper is an excellent conductor, while galvanized steel is less conductive. If the water pipe is made of a less conductive metal, it may be necessary to supplement the grounding system with additional grounding electrodes to ensure adequate protection. Also, consider the length of the metal water pipe within the building. If the pipe is relatively short and doesn't extend far into the building, it may not provide a sufficient grounding electrode. In such cases, it may be necessary to install additional grounding electrodes to supplement the water pipe. The NEC also addresses the issue of isolated metal parts. Isolated metal parts are metal parts that are not intentionally connected to the grounding system. These parts can become energized if they come into contact with a live wire, posing a shock hazard. The NEC requires that isolated metal parts be bonded to the grounding system to prevent them from becoming energized. Bonding is the process of connecting metal parts together to create a low impedance path for fault current. This ensures that fault current will flow quickly back to the source, causing the circuit breaker or fuse to trip and to energize the circuit. The NEC provides specific requirements for the size and type of bonding conductors. These requirements vary depending on the size of the circuit and the type of metal part being bonded. It is important to follow these requirements carefully to ensure that the bonding system is effective. In addition to the grounding and bonding requirements, the NEC also includes requirements for ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. GFCIs are devices that are designed to protect people from electrical shock. They work by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit and quickly interrupting the circuit if a ground fault is detected. A ground fault occurs when current flows through an unintended path to ground, such as through a person's body. GFCIs are required in many locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. They are particularly important in areas where there is a risk of contact with water. When installing a grounding system, it is important to consider the soil conditions. The soil's conductivity can affect the effectiveness of the grounding system. In areas with dry or sandy soil, the soil's conductivity may be poor, which can make it difficult to achieve a low resistance connection to ground. In such cases, it may be necessary to use special grounding techniques such as installing ground rods that are driven deeper into the earth or using chemical ground rods. Chemical ground rods are ground rods that are filled with chemicals that help to improve the soil's conductivity. The chemicals leach into the surrounding soil, creating a more conductive path to ground. It is also important to consider the effects of corrosion on the grounding system. Metal parts that are buried in the ground can corrode over time, which can reduce the effectiveness of the grounding system. To prevent corrosion, it is important to use corrosion-resistant materials and to protect the grounding system from moisture. One way to protect the grounding system from moisture is to encase the ground rods in concrete. Concrete helps to prevent moisture from reaching the ground rods, which can slow down the corrosion process. It is important to periodically inspect the grounding system to ensure that it is still in good condition. Ground rods should be checked for corrosion and the connection should be checked for tightness. If any problems are found, they should be corrected immediately. A properly installed and maintained grounding system is essential for electrical safety. It helps to protect people from electrical shock, reduces electrical noise, and improves the reliability of electrical equipment. By following the requirements of the NEC and other applicable codes and regulations, it is possible to ensure that the grounding system is effective and safe. In conclusion, when it comes to grounding metal water pipes, remember that the 5-foot rule outlined in NEC 250.52a is not just a suggestion, it is a mandatory safety requirement. It is important to adhere to this requirement to ensure the safety of people and property. Do not compromise on safety. Always consult with a qualified professional for any electrical work.